Hey everybody, welcome to Life Barbells and BS. We just finished laughing. We won't share. It's kind of funny. It's
Yeah,
kind of funny.
we can't share.
Yeah, so we're back again. This is Claudia. I'm Chris. Manny's doing his thing, producing this whole deal
With one arm.
behind the scenes with one arm, with a Frankenstein scar on his shoulder.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was nasty.
I could have done better than that, Manny.
You might need to edit that out. I don't know if his doctor was going to watch this.
Anyway,
Did
so
you go to the old timey meat market to get your surgery? Yeah.
yeah.
So, what we thought we'd do tonight is start with a few questions from one of our, say, listeners.
Yeah. She had sent in. I'll give her first name. That's fine. Let me see if I can find it.
Everybody likes hearing their name on stuff.
They do.
Yeah, as long as you don't say their last name.
Oh. Okay. I am so sorry.
What is it, like 90 degrees in here? I'm going to sweat through my shirt, I'm telling you. I still have my winter coat.
I was
I
going to
haven't
wear a
shed it.
jacket.
I haven't shed it yet. I'm working on
You're-
it. So,
okay.
what is it? What
All
you
right.
got?
So Elaine, hey Elaine. So she sent us a few questions. So we're gonna get through maybe a couple of these, and then just know, guys, when you guys send us in questions, if you send us multiple, we may not get to them all in that same podcast. You know, we might have to break it up. It might be 2 or 3 podcasts away. So just keep listening. We do bring it up. I've got other questions from other people also that. Well, I think our next one coming out, we had hit one of the questions with that that was sent back on our first podcast. So we do get through them. And then sometimes as ideas hit us, the questions are put on the back burner for a second so we don't forget our awesome idea. And then we bring the question out. So, but anyway, so we're going to, Elaine had asked how much cardio is too much for gaining muscle. And I'm not sure if this was from her. I know Elaine has clients of her own, so I don't know if this came from any of her clients that she wanted to mention these questions. But anyway, you're running the show today.
I am.
At least that's what I was told.
No, who said that? I don't think. Well,
All right, so anyway,
so
yeah.
it's we don't want to oversimplify things, but it's like the previous questions we've answered. It is kind of simple. Mm-hmm. It's this. There's a misconception about building muscle, this ability. You know, one of the common things that we hear from clients is, for instance, I want to get bigger quads, but I also want to get lean, shredded, ripped, whatever you want at the same time. Not going to happen unless you're genetically gifted or you're taking some type of performance-enhancing compound. Mm-hmm. So, you know, this idea of cardio, you know, number one, if you want to build muscle, you have to be in a caloric surplus. Chances are, if you're doing excessive amounts of cardio,
You're going to be in a deficit.
you're going to be in a deficit because most people, especially if you take people, you can kind of look at people and say they're very thin or don't have a lot of muscle, very thin,
Skinny fat.
whatever the case may be.
You'll hear that term a lot, skinny fat. So
Yes,
they're
yeah.
thin, and their body fat percentage is actually fairly high
Right.
with their body composition, how their body composition is. So their body fat is actually pretty high, and even though people are like, oh, they're thin, so they're fit, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily the case. And I'm not saying that they're fit. Endurance wise, they're probably great.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe we should define
yeah, we got to
different
go
different
about
types
this a little
of
different.
different types of cardio, because I think that's one of the misconceptions too. Is that I think sometimes we misuse the word cardio. So if you're looking at true cardio, in other words, exercise that taxes my heart, that actually works my heart, you're talking about an exercise. So let's go to the extreme. Let's say CrossFit, right? So CrossFit is going to take your heart rate to max heart rate, bring it down, take it back up, bring it down, take it back up. That's true cardio.
Right.
You're exercising your heart and lungs and all of those things. A lot of times people refer to cardio in the gym, they're talking about what we
Like
refer to
steady
as
state.
steady state cardio. So a heart rate between 110 and 130 for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever. And there are different ranges there.
So you're talking, and just to clarify, so bringing your heart rate up and it's down and it's up and it's down. You're more like an interval training.
Yeah.
Okay. Coming down, not to the point where you are. At like a relaxed state. You know, you're not
Yeah,
bringing
you
it
would-
down that far.
Yeah. You would come down to that, what we would refer to a lot of times as the fat burning heart rate. Yeah, that
Yes.
130, 120 to 130, whatever the case may be. The other thing is, too, is most people don't understand, and this is something that's really picked up a lot of traction lately, is helping people understand that what is a more effective form of cardio? Weight training or steady state cardio?
Weight training,
Weight training.
without a doubt.
Absolutely 100%. Because it's taking your heart rate, is spiking down, spike down, spike down for 45 minutes, an hour, hour and a half, whatever you're doing. So it is more effective at burning calories, more effective, all of it.
Now, mind you, I'm gonna branch off on this a little
Sure.
bit. Weight training is an excellent way to burn fat. However, and I'm not saying that you need to. I see a lot of this in the gym, so I'm going to just call it out and say what it is.
Call it out.
Yeah, it's what I call the sedentary workout.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, and you're kind of you're coming into the gym, you're working out, you're doing an exercise. You do one set, and then your downtime is 7-8 minutes, and you're talking. You're walking around, not even really walking around to keep your heart rate up, to keep yourself moving in between sets. Because
Looking
I've
for
seen
somebody
that. I've
else to
seen
talk
people.
to.
Huh?
Looking for somebody else to talk to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or you're sitting there, you're on your phone, you're reading a book, whatever the case is. Yeah, there's all kinds. So that's what I call the sedentary workout. Okay, where you're doing minimal as far as strength-wise to make it effective enough. I'm not saying that the weight that you're moving is not effective, but it's not going to be.
Look, we can always go that route of something is better than nothing. But that's a little bit of a cop-out, right? Because we could ask 100 people, and we could say, what would you prefer? Would you prefer to go into the gym and be efficient and to maximize your potential for progress, to maximize your fat burning, to maximize your muscle building capabilities or whatever the case may be? Would you rather do that?
And do it in an hour.
Right.
Or
Yeah. Or would you rather go hang out?
and space out your workout that it
Socialize.
takes 4 hours.
Right. Yeah.
And you've done minimal.
Yeah. And then you say, well, I'm not making the progress that I'd like to see.
Exactly.
Right. So all of this is really simple. But let's go back to the original question. If you're trying to build muscle, it's incredibly important. Well, not incredibly important. It's absolutely 100% necessary to be in a caloric surplus, not too much of a surplus. Progressive resistance, that means going heavier in the gym, progressing as you go. The intensity of your workout is vitally important. You have to get after it, and like your face has to be, don't be afraid to make a stank face every once in a while. usually a lot of women have a problem making ugly faces. Be willing
Okay.
to make ugly faces.
Look, ladies, don't be afraid of the weight.
No.
I hear it all the time. And especially when I'm there as a trainer and I'm spotting you. You have a spotter? Dear God, lift the weight.
Yeah. And if she
I'm not
starts
going to let
beating
anything
the-
happen to you. I'm here spotting you. If you have a spotter, go for it.
Yeah. And if Claudia starts doing this,
Do it. Yeah.
I'm turning
You
it all
see.
over to you now. It's all you.
It's on me. And the table didn't shake.
No, because I fixed it with toilet paper.
Thank you,
So-
Southern Oaks, for the toilet paper.
So again, this too much cardio. Can I do too much cardio if I'm trying to build muscle? Yes,
Yes.
you can, because it puts you in a caloric deficit. And you have to
Yes.
figure that out for yourself. That's where all of this is. That's the fun part about this, is figuring out your body. So I did this much cardio and lifted the weights and I ate this much. 30 days later, what happened? Okay, nothing happened. Okay, I need to tweak it. And
Yeah.
keep doing it and keep doing it until you find out how your body is adapting to what you're doing and if you're making the progress you want to make.
Yes.
There are no magic formulas. We can guide you and we can give you a rough, what we think may get you on the right path.
So if you've been at this for months and you're still not making progress,
yeah.
you're doing cardio and a lot of it, you're not really making any progress as far as strength training, your diet is definitely, your calorie surplus is definitely not there. You're not eating enough.
Yeah.
You are not eating enough. So in answering how much cardio is too much, I mean, you look at somebody like, all right, Michael Phelps. I mean, he ate, what, 4,000 or 5,000 calories a day.
He was eating, I watched the documentary, he was eating well over 10,000 calories.
on his, when he was getting ready for the Olympics.
Because he was in the gym, he was training 6 hours a day. That's weight training and pool time.
Okay.
And
No, I was
it
talking
insane.
swim time. On
Yeah.
days when he was just swimming, he was eating over 5,000 calories.
Just swimming.
Just his swimming practices alone
Yeah.
was over 5,000 calories.
Yeah. Yeah.
The man doesn't look like a
watched that-
beanpole.
Yeah, I watched that documentary. That was amazing, the food he was putting away. And because he was,
And then,
my
of course,
gosh.
my favorite athlete, one of my favorite athletes, Simone Biles. Yes. I mean, she's amazing. So, and you know that girl eats.
yeah.
As strong as she is, and as much as those gymnasts practice, and the muscle on, oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway. Also, we'll go through this one too. About drinking coffee. I'm a coffee drinker. I know you're a coffee drinker.
I drink coffee in the winter.
You don't drink it all year?
No, because it's hot. I'm telling you.
Okay. Well, I know it's
My
hot.
body burns like 24/7.
I drink it all the time. I drink coffee. I've had it when I'm training.
So what's the question?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Do you drink coffee or alcohol when bodybuilding? So she specifically put bodybuilding. Or can you in off season? I drink it all year.
Well, and we were talking about this. It depends on what kind of coffee you're drinking.
Okay, so when I'm in, I don't call it off season, bulk season. When I'm bulking. Yeah, I know you don't call it bulking for me, but anyway, I like creamer in my coffee. You know, and I don't put anything else. Just creamer and have a little bit of stevia. That's it. So when I'm in prep, that goes away,
Yeah, it's just black coffee.
which is terrible.
But it wakes you up.
No, it does. I mean, but I'm just not a black coffee fan.
Yeah. So if you're talking about swinging through the drive-through
at
at any
coffee
coffee
place.
establishment.
I don't want to name any particular one, but yeah.
And please understand, we don't demonize any food. We don't demonize any drink. It's not about that. We're not saying anything's bad for you. What we're saying is, if you're going and getting a salted caramel latte with whipped cream on top and sprinkles, chances are there could be upwards of, I think the last thing I read, 700 calories, 750 calories in a drink. So what you're doing is you're drinking your calories.
Right.
So if you're
You're
trying
drinking
to,
your fat, you're drinking your sugar.
yeah, sugar, and there's no nutritional value to any of that. So it's empty, it's massive amounts of empty calories.
Yes.
All right. So if you're factoring that 700 calories into your daily macros, if you're trying to lose body fat, or if you're trying to gain muscle and you don't mind putting on a little chub,
Go for
then
it.
hey, go for it. But if you're trying to lose body fat,
That's
you
probably
better-
not the way to go.
Yeah, probably not the way to go, because you just ate up 750 of your daily allowance for macros in one drink.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's, like I said, she specified bodybuilding, but I think maybe what she meant was just anybody that's working out in the gym kind of thing.
Yeah. Alcohol.
I'll let you take that. I don't drink at all.
What, like I'm an alcoholic?
No. Are you?
Not anymore.
Okay.
No, just,
And not
No.
that I never have. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean-
yeah, I've had alcohol.
yeah, neither one of us are drinkers.
No.
Right. I may have a couple of drinks a couple of times a year around the holidays or whatever. Right? That's just a personal
That's a personal preference.
thing. But typically, you specifically mentioned bodybuilding, right?
Yes.
So typically, bodybuilding and alcohol don't mix. Bodybuilding or alcohol and fat loss don't mix very well.
No.
You can look up, we don't even have to tell you, you can look up the effects of the body, of alcohol when trying to lose body fat. And it'll give you a long list of all the things that it does, from slowing your metabolism down to whatever the case may be. So it's not, but again, if you're training hard in the gym 5 days a week, and you're burning those calories, and you're eating well, and you're meal prepping, and you're watching your macros, and you want to go out on Friday night and have a couple of beers and a cheat meal, it's probably not going to affect you too
Yeah.
much.
I mean, enjoy your life.
Yeah.
So, okay. She's got a couple other ones, but we can hold off on those for the time being. But anyway, we had talked about earlier. We kind of got into this discussion about how did we start that?
I think we were picking up on a lot of conversations around the gym.
Yeah. But you had mentioned something about. Okay. And I don't know how we got into that. Like the power of your mind and how much it just controls so much.
Right. So I think everybody's heard that your mind is super powerful. So I think what we're going to try to do is shed some light on just how powerful your mind is.
I have a story.
Okay. You want to tell your story first?
Yeah, okay.
Go for it.
Okay, well, this isn't like a bodybuilding kind of story, but it's police related.
Okay.
Okay. So we were taught in the academy that if you are, God forbid, if you're ever shot in the line of duty, to have that mindset that you're going to live. You're going to live. You're going to make it through. You don't give up. Don't think, oh my God, this is it. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Because officers have. There was one case that, and I wish I could have time to bring it up, but he was shot like in the hand. And he was so distraught that he got shot, and he was so, I'm going to die, he was scared. It was fear. He was scared. And he did.
Wow.
And, it is, but if you have that will of to live, or you hear of people that they get wounded somewhere. They're in a deserted area and they crawl for days and they're trying to get, you know what I'm saying? Which, they've got a limb hanging off, something, and they make it and they live, and because they had that will, that, the power of the mind, that they're going to make it and they're going to survive and they're going to live. And I think, and you had mentioned you knew somebody that was almost hypochondriac, kind of, in a sense.
Yeah, no, I know that word can have a
And
negative
we're
connotation.
not putting a label on that's what she was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if the shoe fits, I mean, so,
I'm not a doctor. I'm not putting
Yeah.
that. Yeah, and I didn't know her, so.
Yeah, so let me preface this, because everybody has either heard a story or they've known someone. I'm sure some people will recognize the name Kyle Maynard. You ever heard of Kyle Maynard? So I think Kyle was born a paraplegic. Okay, so no legs above the knee. Okay, so his stumps were above the knee. Kyle grew up. He was a great wrestler. I want to say he played football temporarily, but Kyle grows up. He goes on speaking tours. Super great guy. I met him down in Georgia. He had his own CrossFit gym. This guy was an absolute beast. He went and climbed Mount Kilimanjaro with no legs.
That's awesome.
Right? So he was always going up Stone Mountain. He was doing Stone Mountain all the time. He had these rubber sleeves with thick, looked like a car tire, that were on the bottom. And so, that padding. And he would go climb Stone Mountain all the time, and he actually went and climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. So my point is, we've all seen those stories where you have soldiers who go to war. And you have two soldiers, both are in an explosion, and they get their legs blown off. Okay? They both come home, and now we see them take two different paths. Fast forward a year, 2 years down the road, one is destitute, homeless, addicted to drugs and alcohol, whatever the case may be. They've given up on life. I get it. The other one is competing in the Special Olympics because he or she says, I'm not going to let this defeat me, and they go on to do amazing things. It's the only difference is the mind.
Yeah.
It's the way they perceive things. So, person very close to me, a family member, and this was over the course of 20 something years. In the very beginning, it was things like you'll hear, and this, you don't hear this as much anymore, but chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, and now we lump things into autoimmune disorders. We have things like Hashimoto's, and they keep coming up with a new something all the time. So there was always something wrong. This person was always looking for there to be something wrong. What's wrong with me? This hurts, that hurts. I feel this weird thing here, weird thing there. I need to go to the doctor. They need to tell me what it is. And then you go down this dark road of holistic medicine. Well, maybe this place says that if I take this lotion, potion, pill, oil, whatever the case may be, they say they can heal me. And then we go the raw foods route, nothing cooked. We're eating all of our food raw, and everything has to be organic. And it's this constant chaotic mindset of I'm trying to heal whatever it is going on with my body. And I've said for the longest time that if you spend enough time looking for something to be wrong, there's going to be something wrong.
Yes.
Well, over the course of the years, the diseases started to progress. Health started to regress little by little by little by little. And ultimately, this person passed away at age 54,
Which is young.
53, 54, of a disease that it affects 1 in 2 million, and usually it's children. So a very, very rare disease. There's no genetic predisposition to this disease. Doesn't exist anywhere in the family tree. So the question is, can you think yourself to death?
Yes.
I believe you can. I believe you can convince yourself if you go looking for everything that's wrong. And so this is what happens. So I have this wrong with me, this wrong with me, this wrong with me on this medication. Because make no mistake, the medical community has no problem with diagnosing you. Because if you get diagnosed, then you're on medication.
And you're a moneymaker for
And that feeds the monster.
Yes.
And yes, we said it.
You are now their cash cow.
Can't cancel us in our 50 subscribers. It's fine.
Yeah.
It'll be a badge of honor. But it is what it is. We keep coming up with different diseases so we can have different medications.
Keep people in fear. Keep them coming back.
Every doctor, I remember this like it was yesterday. Every doctor in the beginning said that fibromyalgia, in the beginning, this was 20 years ago, 25 years ago, that it was a psychosomatic thing. It was all in your head. It didn't exist. That's what every doctor said. And miraculously, 15 years ago, it became a real thing, and there's a pill for it. Isn't that amazing? Take this medication for fibromyalgia. It may cause bloating, thoughts of suicide, and even death. And your butt might fall off. I don't know.
Right.
You know those long list of things that tells you can happen if you take the medication.
I remember my son was 5, maybe. And we were watching a commercial, and I wasn't paying much attention to it, but he was. And they were saying that, how it was an advertisement for a drug, for whatever the ailment was, okay? And it says it may cause nausea, diarrhea, suicidal thoughts, and they're going down this list. My son was 5, and he turned to me and he said, "Mom, if it causes all those problems, why take the medicine?" And I said, "And that's the $1 million question, baby." Right. And here's the thing. Yeah. Look, don't get me wrong. There are some things you can't help.
Absolutely.
You have, maybe a defective heart or something. You need to be maybe on something to help that along, to sustain your life. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of things out there that you don't need to be on. Your diet is crap. You don't move enough. Your stress level's through the roof, which in turn causes, your hormones are out of balance. Your cortisol levels are up. It all comes full circle, and they know this. Mm-hmm. These pharmaceutical companies bank on this. So, and not saying anything. Okay, so this person that you knew was looking for illnesses. And power of the mind. They thought they were sick with X, Y, Z. And I had a family member, and when their spouse passed away, and they cried for 2 years over their spouse, wanting to die. They were perfectly healthy. Nothing wrong with them. Cried for 2 years.
And died.
Had a heart attack. Fought off nurses. And they passed away.
So here's a question. I'll ask your opinion.
Okay.
We've heard this before. So if I have, let's say that me personally, mm-hmm. that I have 3 different things about me that are not functioning properly. Let's say I have an autoimmune disease. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's one. Let's say that I have hypothyroidism. Okay, so my thyroid is not functioning properly. And I have early stage kidney disease. Just throw it out there. Just bear with me. So I come to you, you're my personal trainer, and I say, hey, I've got these things wrong with me, but I really want to lose 50 pounds. Okay? So, I make a little progress, whatever the case may be, but time goes on, and I'm really, normally under normal circumstances, we would look at a year is a long period of time. Massive transformations can take place in a year. Super massive transformations can take place in 2 years. I mean, we've seen that my 600-pound life thing or whatever, hundreds of pounds that are dropped.
Okay, and they've had,
Well, something, but
yeah.
remember, what was the show, The Biggest Loser? Now, remember, we're not taking in the fact that a lot of them gained it back. We're talking about through hard work and diet, it will come off. Now, if you don't maintain it, it will come back. So we're not taking, what I'm saying is the possibility to take it off. So if there's that person, if I'm that person in the gym that keeps coming to you and I've hired you and you're training me and I'm just not making the progress I want to make, and but tell me how this happens. How many times have you gone there? And I'm thinking of one athlete specifically. This person was at a bodybuilding competition. They were a competitor. They were a paraplegic. No use of their legs. Their legs were still there, so they had no use of their legs. So cardio's out, except for a hand bike. Okay. They had an ostomy bag. Okay. So they had a whatever that is, and we know what that is. So they obviously there's stuff going on that will severely affect your digestion and your ability to process food and all those things.
Getting the proper nutrients from your food.
Getting your proper nutrients. Just those two things alone. I'm a paraplegic, and I have an ostomy bag. Can you tell me how that person got down to 5% body fat and built muscle, and they're posing on stage in a wheelchair and winning a trophy?
Diet.
Hard work.
Diet.
Discipline.
Diet.
The power of the mind.
Yes.
Not waking up and convincing myself that there's...
Obviously, the gym is in place.
Yeah.
All right, let's take that off. That's a given.
Yeah.
They're doing the hard work in the gym.
Right.
With the weights and whatnot, as to what they're capable of doing. Their food's in place. 1,000%.
Yeah. So in other words, if we're talking about that person, we can't look at them and say, well, if I had what they had, I could get ready for a... Wait a minute. If you were in a wheelchair, didn't have any legs, and had an ostomy bag?
You don't want what they have.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they are overcoming obstacles, but in their mind, and here's the thing, a lot of these people, in their mind, it's like, it's not an obstacle.
Right. We've had, how many competitors have you seen with cerebral palsy?
I see them with...
That is awesome.
I know.
Love it.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I love the ones that are, like you just mentioned, that get out there and have disabilities. There was a female competitor that had a colostomy bag. Now, she wasn't in a wheelchair, but...
That's a big obstacle to overcome.
It is.
Huge. Huge.
Ones that are diabetic, you know?
Yeah. And I think that's what we're trying to get at, right? I think
you can get where you want to go.
Yeah.
If you've got the drive to do it.
And I think that's the important part, because this carries over, and of course, most of everything that we talk about is fitness and gym and bodybuilding.
I think it's just anything in life.
But we're talking about the power of your mind. The stronger your mind is, the greater your ability to do things like control your emotions. So you're not overreacting to things, letting those things eat you alive. Cortisol levels don't go through the roof because you have the ability to stop, step back, process, breathe, and go, all right, let's methodically, strategically go through this issue, problem, storm, whatever the case may be, one step at a time, eat the elephant one bite at a time. You know, that's when we start talking about emotional IQ. What's your emotional IQ? You know.
Well, and here's the thing, and you caught me doing it.
What did I catch you doing?
Doing, you know, where I was letting something kind of eat away at me.
No.
Yes.
Really? Claudia is very competitive. That's a good thing.
It is. Well,
to a certain
it
extent.
does hinder me to a point. Not hinder my progress.
Right. It eats at you.
It does. Yeah. And I have to remember to kind of keep myself in check.
Well, we all do.
So having feelings about something is fine. It's great. Look, it's okay to get angry about something. It's okay to get, upset about something, jealous about something, whatever the case is. Live it for that few minutes, let it out, and then take a step back. And that's what I had trouble doing, but I have some good friends around me, so I was able to take a step back.
You do have some good friends around you.
I do, yeah.
You have one really good one. Manny.
Frankenstein.
So look, here's the other reason to, and part of that controlling your mind, how do I make my mind stronger, right? It's those small daily victories. Did I get up this morning and do cardio? Did I go through one entire day and didn't miss a meal or didn't cheat or I ate healthy? Did I work out every day this week and progressed in the gym? Whatever.
Look, sometimes, and I do this, and I know I don't want to dwell on this too much, but if I waking up, and you ever wake up and you're like, God, I feel so tired.
Yeah.
I tell myself now, I'm like, screw it. No, I'm not. I'm not tired. It's good. I'm not tired. Right. And I'm telling you, if you say something enough, you'll believe it. And your body just kind of, I just go through, and, it really is just kind of the positive, not affirmations. Am I saying the right word? Positive.
We used to call it speaking life.
Oh.
You speak.
Who's we?
What? We, people like me, people that I was surrounded by. A lot of people used to say
Who are
this.
these crowds of people?
I used to say,
okay.
I still say, you speak life, not death. And those are two extreme words.
Yeah.
But I went through a phase where it drove me nuts. When I would go by and ask somebody, hey, how you doing today? And the first words I heard were, I'm tired. I'm like, is that all you got? It's like somebody spoke to you. It could be a complete stranger. It could be somebody you work with. I greet you. Good morning. How are you? And you come up with, I'm tired? And I got to the point when I heard that, you know what I would say? Congratulations. And I walked off. You're tired. And you're
right.
going to stay tired.
Yeah.
And you're almost beyond help at this point. If that's your greeting, if that's what you've got, and that's why I tell everybody surrounded with me, you wake up in the morning before your feet hit the floor, you decide what kind of mood you're going to be in. Mm-hmm. You decide how you're going to approach your day. Don't get out of bed and come at me with some negative, bad mood. No, you go deal with your own stuff. Yeah. Because you had a choice just like I did to wake up and say, I'm going to attack this day and I'm going to be positive about the day and go about and brighten somebody else's day, or go into it and be an energy vampire and suck the life out of every room I walk into.
And trust me, there are people out there like that.
No.
Do you ever see them pull up as a trainer, you see them pull up in the parking lot sometimes, some people, and you're like,
This poor lady walked in the gym the other day and she scanned her little card, and she stopped. And I happened to be standing right there, and she stopped and she's like, I really don't want to do this. I'm like, poor thing. I said, this is probably not going to go well, but she's here. Right. She kept moving forward. She didn't turn around and walk out. We've seen that before too.
Yes.
I think the thing is to understand is it goes back to the podcast we did about stop lying to yourself. Mm-hmm. A lot of lying to yourself is making excuses that aren't accurate.
Right.
Because it's proven time and time again. We live in a world of social media. How many reels or whatever come across your social media every day of
that are depressing.
Well, not just depressing, but they're these people doing these amazing things.
Or that. I say it, well, I like the funny ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're these extraordinary things, like, holy crap, they just did that. And then it says, what's your excuse?
Yeah.
Right? There's one guy who was laying in a hospital bed, half his head was gone. and he's got tubes coming out everywhere. Next thing you know, the next scene is him in the gym lifting weights, and then the year after that lifting. And I'm like, whoa! And then he's standing on stage, and he had this massive car accident where he was almost dead.
Wow.
And so the reality is, if you want to climb Mount Everest, go climb Mount Everest. Start taking the steps. If you want to, run a triathlon, do an Ironman. If you want to run a marathon, if you want to do a bodybuilding contest, whatever it is, make a decision, make a plan, write the plan down, and follow the plan. Well, you guys make it seem easy.
Well, that's not true.
It's not easy. Nothing's easy.
No, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Nothing worth having there's nothing in life that's extraordinary, things that other people don't do, can't do, whatever. None of that's easy.
No.
It's always hard.
But I love that.
Yeah. That's the challenge.
That's what drives me. The more of a challenge it is, the harder it is, the more I want it, the more I go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's information.
I don't know why.
And we're putting it out there to the world. If you need help, we will help you.
Yeah.
We will answer questions. We will whatever.
And trust me, there is nothing that people can say that I haven't heard as far as excuses. People, when I tell them to, when just log in their food, that kind of thing. Oh, now I have to eat perfect. Nah, trust me, don't. I really want to see how you're eating. I really want to know. I can't help you if you're lying about it.
What was the thing I posted it the other day? It was the guy who comes in. It was a guy who had a wig on. He was pretending to be a girl. And he's like, oh, I forgot to track my macros. And he sits down at the computer and he says, well, I'll just make them up.
Yes.
Yeah, that looks good. And then he says, dear trainer, you're not giving me the results I want. It's your fault. And blah, blah, blah. That was hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm not seeing progress. What are you doing wrong, trainer? We're not miracle workers.
Well, you might not be.
Eat healthy. Track your food.
Yeah, well, and that's it. I
exercise.
know that sounds so. You're making it sound like it's easy. It's not as easy as all that. I mean, it
it's
really
not.
isn't easy. The food part is the hardest, to be honest with you. And I tell people that all the time.
Establishing a habit, establishing new
The
habits.
discipline
is hard.
of it, yeah.
It takes time.
It does. It takes work. And when you fall off the wagon, you get back on. And then you fall off the wagon and you get back on. You don't fall off and stay off.
Yeah.
So.
Have you ever heard the term somebody say, if they wanted to, they would?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well,
see, they put that out. You see that a lot on like single women stuff.
Really?
Yes.
I'm getting ready to get educated again. Because last week it was the compression yoga pants. Now I get to learn something else.
Well, because women will, they make excuses for men as to why they don't do X, Y, and Z. Oh, he didn't text me. He didn't call me. He didn't do this. Oh, he must be busy. He must be working a lot. He's got family, obligations, whatever the case. No, if he wanted to, he would. Done. Every time. I say this, and I say this to a lot of women every time. I'm like, no. If he wanted to, he would move mountains to make it happen.
I'm a firm believer in if they wanted to, they would.
Same. I absolutely am.
If you
Yes.
wanted to lose weight and get healthy, you would.
Yes.
You would move mountains to find a way to make it happen.
Yes. I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Think we pissed anybody off?
Okay, let's try harder. What else?
What you got?
I don't know.
Manny, help us. Give us a very controversial subject that we can explore.
Yeah. All right. Anyway. Anyway. Okay. So what?
We're
go ahead.
rooting for everybody. Don't ever.
Oh yeah, we're
don't
not.
ever
We're not,
think that we're.
we're not putting anybody down.
We want everybody to succeed, and what we're trying to do is give you some tools to add to your toolbox. And sometimes those tools are the ability to look at yourself more accurately.
More honestly.
Honestly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you got to take accountability for your actions.
Yeah.
So, we can't be there 23 hours out of the day and we only see you for an hour So I don't know what goes on. I don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So I may not want to know.
Probably not.
Anyway, all right, well, let's wrap this one up.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Thank you all for listening. And shoot us some more ideas and comments and agree, disagree, whatever the case is. We haven't had anybody disagree on anything.
I know y'all are being too nice.
I know.
We need to have at least one comment that said,
At
y'all
least-
suck.
Or,
Why not?
or like, I disagree with XYZ and be specific. Not like you suck. You suck at what?
You see your reaction to that bothered you. Yeah, you don't want to be told you suck.
No,
That
I do.
really-
I want them to be specific. They can tell me I suck, but at what?
We could generally suck
At what?
at podcast.
Oh.
But hey,
Yeah.
we're learning. We're learning, and we're having fun.
And here's the thing. Good.
We'll keep doing it no matter what, because this is fun. This is a Thursday night thing. This is our party night with Mamie.
Frankenstein. Anywho.
All right.
All right. I hope you all enjoy. And until next time, we're going to be signing off. So like, subscribe,
Nice to like.
smash that like button. And have a great night, guys. And till next time.
Bye.